Global warming.
Climate change.
Global warming.
I think it's full-on climate change.
Environmental impact.
Call it climate change.
Ecological disaster.
Use public transportation. You can avoid using like synthetic fertilizers for your lawn. You could be like a climate activist, try to push legislature to get more green energy. I know, like I said, biking a lot. I mean, cars are a big problem for the individual as far as I know.
Like one of my classes, we were talking about it, how there's only certain types of plastics that can be recycled. And I know that when you're recycling plastic water bottles, it's a lot harder because there's 3 different types of plastic with the actual water bottle, the cap, and the plastic that goes around it. Sometimes when they go to certain facilities, they have to separate all of them before you're actually able to recycle it, which comes at a very harder cost instead of just being able to use reusable water bottles.
Use reusable water bottles. Just try to cut down on your waste that you're producing. Just not producing as big of a carbon footprint in the grand scheme of things.
It's really about like limiting what your impact. So such as like online shopping, I know that my family has a pretty big thing where we like to buy clothes, but recently I've been limiting the amount of clothes I buy.
Try to get your energy from like wind energy or dam energy instead of like coal or oil production, or solar panels. That's another big thing you could do.
Every aspect of the system has climate change impacts that we don't think about. Vegetarianism is a climate action. People don't want to talk about it. It's awkward to talk about, but like the meat industry's contributions to climate change are massive. Yeah, it's not just, methane emissions from cows and stuff like that. It's a lot of stuff, right? So that has a lot to do with like inefficient land use. Huge swaths of landscape are converted to corn and soy production. And none of it is growing food directly for people to consume, except in the form of high fructose corn syrup. They're growing corn for ethanol, and they're growing corn and soybeans for animal feed. So reducing meat consumption is big. The other thing that's big is that people don't want to talk about that much or don't think about as like a climate change issue is the military. Like the US military uses vast quantities of carbon for everything. Think about like getting military ships around the world and stuff like that.
It's like voting. It's like voting where everyone's like, my vote doesn't really matter, and it does. It's just like, it's the little things, and it's an imperfect science, but doing the best you can.
I think individuals each have their own part to play, especially when it comes to coming together to go against like industries. I think most of the impact that is made for climate change is from industries, but that doesn't mean that responsibility falls away from the individual.